So this season's been has been a long season of many different emotions. So for me, I've done really well in lockdown and love some of it, but some of it's been really tough. So in the first two lockdowns, when I was finding things difficult emotionally, not sure where I'm at, as most of us have been, a song that really hit home was Waymaker, and it has a line, or has several lines in the bridge, and it goes, "Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working." So when I was at a bit of a loose end with myself, those lyrics really hit home, that although I didn't see God working, that miracles weren't being done, that I wasn't pushing into things, God was still working when I thought he wasn't. So that song was a great way to pick me up out of that rut, of that little ditch. Another song that really spoke to me, particularly on the number of walks that I've done over lockdown out into Beacon Hill and beyond, is another song called So Will I, which is a song where it focuses on God's creation, and if the aspects of God's creation are worshipping, so should we. It's a beautiful song. So as soon as I think about creation, this song pops into my head, and I guess I'm overjoyed by God's creation, and that all the little bits, the trees moving, the mountains just standing still, the rocks are in silence, that they're all aspects of God's worship, and God has called them, all those objects, to do that.
God reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns. Yes, he reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns forever. Your kingdom reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns forever. Your kingdom reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns. Our God reigns forever. Your kingdom reigns. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. We sing it again. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. That is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, even when I don't feel it, you never stop. You never stop. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. Never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. Never stop working. Never stop. Oh, you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. That is who you are. 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 It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are.
So I worship because it's my act of glorifying God. Biblically, worship is the act of giving something to God, glorifying God, declaring that God is greater than all. I believe worship should start with us giving thanks to God. So I associate worship with the thanksgiving. So when I worship, I think of all the things I'm thankful for. And I bring them to God and put them at God's feet. But worship is also another means of communicating with God. I believe it brings a real big presence of peace. And when I worship, I guess I'm coming into God's presence, and I feel that peace. And it's almost as if I was with God. It's different to just praying and reading the Bible. But I worship because I want to be in God's presence and feel that and be in it. And I believe as humans, we should be glorifying our Creator as well. So that whole aspect of worship, I think, is really important. That's a great question. I connect with God in many different ways. There's the main three: reading the Bible, prayer, and worship as well. And I guess those encompass a whole range of different things. But reading the Bible is something I found really difficult for many years, actually until the pandemic, when I had a lot of time just to sit on my own and read. But my main connection is worship, and it's not just musical worship that I've done quite a lot of over the last 10 years, but it's also worship at work. I believe God has called us all to be work-filled human beings. So I worship as much as I can in my work, and it's not necessarily easy. But I also find worshipping in God's creation fantastic. Going for walks, going for cycle rides, getting out to see the raw aspects of God's beauty on this earth. God has created everything, and I believe we can worship when we see that and feel a sense of awe that our Creator has put us on this earth, which is so full of green life and fantastic things.
God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. No point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born. In the vapor of your breath, the planets form. If the stars were made to worship so alive, I can see your heart in everything you made. Every burning star, a signal fire of grace. Every creation sings your praises so alive. So alive. God of your promise, you can't speak in vain, no syllable empty or void. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you say. It all reveals your nature so alive. I can see your heart in everything you say. Every painted sky, the canvas of your grace. Creation still obeys you so alive. So alive. So alive. The stars are made to worship so alive. The mountains bow in reverence so alive. The oceans roar your greatness so alive. With everything exists, lift you high, so alive. If the wind goes where you send it, so alive. If the rocks cry out in silence, so alive. Whoa. If the sum of all our praise still falls short, then we'll sing again 100 times. God of salvation, chase down my heart through all of my failures and pride. On a hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. found your bill, your failures disappeared. When you lost your life, so I find it here. You left the grave behind you, so alive. I can see your heart in everything you've done. Every part designed in a work of art called love. You gladly chose surrender, so alive. I can see your heart in a billion different ways. Every precious one, a child you died to save. You gave your life to love them, so alive. Like you would again 100 billion times. No measure could amount to your desire. The one who never leaves the one behind.
So I often spend time, as I said in the previous question, on my own, leading myself in worship. And at different times in my life, with different things going on, I found it really powerful, and I found myself entering those areas of, I guess, God's courtyard, and meeting with Him in difficult times, in joy-filled times. Sometimes I even record myself in a little worship session, and I will listen back to it often years later, and I will connect with how I was feeling, and I will enter that presence of God again in that same kind of emotional state that I was feeling back then. And it's so raw, and I guess an absolute blessing. But when I enter the presence of God, it's like a blanket of peace folds over me, that covers me. Sometimes I feel the weight of life lift off my shoulders. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I guess it depends on where I'm at emotionally with what happens. But I just feel like God has picked me up and grabbed me. I feel like I'm in His presence. There's been so many other times as well. During my undergrad years at Loughborough, I used to lead little worship sessions down in the prayer room of St. Peter's. And sometimes it would just be a couple of people there, sometimes maybe 10 or 15. And it'd just be 2 hours of numerous songs, numerous moments where we connect with God. And some people will be painting amidst the music, and it will just be, it's kind of as if heaven had touched earth, which I guess is what we want from worship. And it's, you can just visualize what heaven looks like from those moments and how it feels. It's almost as if all the weight has lifted off all the people's shoulders in the room, and it's glorious.
Lord, I don't want to rush on ahead. You're my own strength when you're right here. Lord, I don't want to rush on ahead. You're my own strength when you're right here. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking. Lord, I want to love like you. I want to feel what you feel. I want to see what you see. Lord, I want to love like you. I want to feel what you feel. I want to see what you see. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you Open my ears, I wanna hear you speak. Tell me your thoughts, what's on your mind. I'll be your friend, I wanna see through your eyes. 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 Wanna see through. Wanna see through. I wanna see through your eyes. See through your eyes. See through your eyes. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit. When it comes to your presence. When it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen. Just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit. When it comes to your presence. When it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen. Just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking.
My name is Chris Ellis. I am a PhD student at Loughborough University. I've been a part of Open Heaven since 2012 when I came here for my undergrad. And I've been around the country here, there and everywhere, but currently I'm back here enjoying Loughborough life and loving Open Heaven.